So how about we shift the conversation and talk about this illusion that she's the perfect woman. She does it all. She doesn't need anybody's help. How is she doing it? I'm sure we all must have gotten this question. How do you do this all? Do you have any help? Is your husband supportive? Like, how in the world do you do this all? You're a mom. You're fulfilling all the duties of a mom. You're picking up your kids, you're dropping your kids, you're feeding them, you're cooking, you're cleaning, and then you are a content creator. Like, both these jobs are 24/7. There is no break. And the moment you take a break from your kids, which is not possible.
It's never possible.
It's never possible.
Yeah.
And the moment you do, I'm sure the husbands are calling, where is this? Where is that? What did you do? Like, how can I control the kids? It's out of control. I cannot handle it. And the moment you take a break from your social media, oh my God, it is so stressful. The followers start asking you at first, how are you? Where are you? Yeah. Why are you missing?
Especially when they're used to you, like constantly posting.
Yes. Why aren't you posting? And if you don't post for a longer time, they start following down.
Of
the
course.
followers go down. You lose your followers. There's a lot of stress. So is this an illusion that a woman who does it all, a mother who does it all?
It's not possible.
There is so much judgment. We all are working moms. I'm sure the stay-at-home moms get the same kind of judgment.
Exactly.
The working moms are judging the stay-at-home moms. The stay-at-home moms are judging the working moms. How can she leave her kid? How can she go out? And the working moms are like, why is she wasting her life at home? Why doesn't she go out and work?
Why the funny part I heard, the funniest statement I heard was, are you really just going to be changing diapers? Like, it's all about, but no. When you actually go into both fields, I have been lucky, my kids are way younger, and I've been lucky, I've had a taste of both sides. And I can tell you, nobody's getting easy. Because I remember I used to leave the house, let's say, in Dubai, like around 8. And you have to prepare before that.
Of course.
So I'm missing out on the walk. So who is going to be there? Who is going to take them on the walk? You need to have someone who is reliable. Our nanny was really, really awesome. So she would do that. So anytime that you see Stephanie somewhere else winning, just know that Stephanie is missing out on bad time. Stephanie is missing out on reading to her kids. Stephanie is missing out on making a snack for her kids. Because we can't do it all.
No, and I think that's what people don't see. They don't see the real side of it, where there's no such thing as the perfect mum.
No.
There isn't. We have our struggles.
Yeah,
we really do.
Every human being does.
From the minute we wake up to the minute we go to sleep, and even during when we're sleeping, there's no rest.
Do you get that thing too? It's like you are in bed and you're thinking, what am I going to get up and do?
I can't switch off.
I can't switch off too.
I can't switch off because I know that I have to be up 5:45. I've got to make the lunches. I've got to make sure that Rafe takes his PE stuff. I've got to make sure Safa's got her English book. I've got to make sure Reem's got her library book. And it's a constant. Like even trying to fall asleep.
Yeah.
It's in your head.
It's like this, like every day I'm on a pedestal with my son. You have to go to school. You have to eat your lunch. You have to do your homework. And at night, when it is bedtime and I have that, 10 minutes of peace with him, I'm like, you have no idea how much I love you. I don't know if it's the guilt. I don't know if it's how I'm rushing him throughout the day. But at night, I'm like, you have no idea how much I love you, what I will do for you. There's always been this very high standard of how a woman should be. Nobody talks about it. Nobody wants to tell the truth. It's high time we all come out and say, we are not perfect. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to let people know that I'm able to do all of this because I have someone at home taking care of my child. Exactly. Or I have some support. I have a supportive husband. I have my family living with me. Or I have a nanny that I trust.
Exactly.
Nobody wants to say this.
Yeah.
On social media, I remember when I started, after pandemic, I started baking. And then most of my followers would be, how do you do it, Stephanie? Do you know, it's just a baby, you are in Dubai, you have no family, you are taking care of Juno by yourself, you have a toddler running headless like a little chicken, moving around, doing everything that he's not supposed to be doing. You are running a business, you are there smiling, putting on makeup, literally just still living your life. Life hasn't paused. How are you doing it? Because most influencers wouldn't show you the team of support they have back.
Yeah.
But just whenever you see anyone doing XYZ, just know that they have a whole team, like you said, a village to raise a child.
Of course. I mean, support system is so important. If I didn't have my husband with me to support me, I don't know how I would survive, honestly, because my parents aren't here. We have no family here living as expats. When we came, it was just me, the 2 kids, and the husband, and that was it. And it is difficult. It is so difficult. You don't know anyone, you know, and you're trying to work as well as balance your family life. You can't give enough time to your kids, or you can't give enough time to your husband. I mean, it really takes a toll on you. It really does.
Time for yourself too.
Yeah. Well, there is no me time. There is no me time.
I did fall into this vicious cycle of, or say like illusion. I did fall into this illusion that I can do it all. I had just started my career as an influencer, so obviously I had to do extra hustle, going to events, dressing up, taking my son along. My son was at that time 15, 16 months old. He was very little and he was a runner. So he had to be stuck to my hip. Otherwise, the moment I lose my eye on him, he's somewhere, you know, disrupting something, or maybe there's a swimming pool around and he might fall into it. And honestly, I felt like I could do it all because the other moms showed it like
because they're
doing it all. My husband was working full time. I did not have help at home. So, and for me, self-care was such a new concept.
Are you serious?
I swear, I was 28. I didn't know what self-care was.
Honestly, self-care, people actually maximize the thought of self-care. Self-care can be something so little as just being in a bathtub. And that's my self-care. Every Sunday,
agree with you.
I have to be in the bathtub. I have to be there. Like
that is so beautiful, yes.
It's the little thing. Probably just going to get a manicure, or even just ordering pizza and eating it by yourself.
This is exactly how I started my journey.
Having a cup of tea.
Just
and actually finishing it.
Finishing it hot.
Finishing it hot. Yeah,
this is actually how I started my journey for self-care. And I say this to all my followers. Take out 5 minutes from your time, everyday time. Announce it, like make a huge announcement. This is my 5 minutes. It's my me time. Nobody is going to disturb you.
By the time you announce it, everyone is going to come.
No, every day you announce it, slowly, gradually, they will understand that, okay, it's her me time. Take 5 minutes for a cup of coffee, maybe a hot bath. Just go out for a walk, whatever it is. Start increasing that time. Soon you will realize that you also had some passions. You also wanted to do some things in life, and you were just not born to be a wife and a mother. My job as a mother, as an influencer, it's like 24/7 job. Is it less to somebody who's working 9 to 5?
No.
I think as I've gotten older, I've really learned to prioritize and learned that maybe what made me happy in my 20s and 30s in terms of how I spend my time and how I spend my money. And those are the things that we have in limited quantities, right? We've got limited amounts of money, we've got limited amounts of time. So let's use them both really, really wisely in the ways that enrich us and our family the most. And it took me time to really realize how I want to do that and what makes me the happiest, what makes my family the happiest and the healthiest, and to kind of weed out the things that don't really serve. And I think with social media or just life in general, we're kind of conditioned to think, oh, we should do this, or we should spend time doing X, Y, and Z. And actually, if you step back and think, well, does that serve me? Does it serve my family in any way? And if not, just say no. That's kind of what I've learned. I'm super selfish in a way with the self-care that you were talking about, in that for me, the gym is such a huge priority. And not just like 5 minutes, I need an hour and a half a day of full on sweating. And if I don't get it, I'm a horrible, horrible person. Honestly, no one benefits from that. So I take myself out of the family situation. I'm away from the kids for however long. But I have to do that every day, 7 days a week. Because I know that if not, my head is not in a good place.
That is so wonderful that you actually know and you prioritize it, that you have to do this. Yeah. This is for you.
So then my sacrifice is that I don't go out at night. I mean, generally, I put the kids to bed and then I go to bed. So I'm generally in bed by 8 o'clock every night. Wow. And I'm fine with that. So, that kind of going to fancy restaurants, going to parties, I've realized that I don't need to do that. It doesn't actually make me happy. I can do it like maybe once every 6 months. That's enough for me now.
Exactly.
That's enough. But that's how, somebody who's never been taking care of themselves, who's never been on the self-love journey, how do they start onto it? Like you said, it just starts with like a cup of coffee, a bath, something, and then you can extend it. At least the people around you know that this is your time.
Yeah.
I had to make it happen for myself, knowing that, whatever I see on social media is that perfect thing. Everybody is doing it all. So I need to do it all. I used to take my son along with me. The only thing that I feel that help me, and I'm saying this with a lot of honesty, is Aptamil Advanced Junior, because that was my partner every time. If my son needs a meal, it is with me in my bag. I can prepare it right away for him. It is nutritious. He's healthy. He's happy. He's not crying anymore. I can focus on the event. I can focus on creating content. I can focus on networking, because me, as someone who's an expat with no family, husband who's working all day long, no help at home, somebody who's going out, who's trying out this new career that nobody knows about. There are no books written about it. There is no theory. There's no
there's no degree.
There's no degree. There's no paper that you can read and you can learn how to be an influencer. You're just figuring out your way in a new country where people speak various languages. Some you understand, some you don't understand. For me, it was the ultimate partner. I cannot tell you. The moment I would leave my house, an extra pair of clothes for my son, his bottle, his Aptamil Advanced Junior, and I am good to go for the whole day.
No, you're absolutely right, because I think, again, I go back to the fact that it's convenience, because I had to travel without my kids for the first time in my entire life that I have left them.
Are you serious?
Seriously, yes. And I don't have nanny or I don't have help. I'm full-on, hands-on mum. And literally left them with my husband. And for me, I should be like, okay, well, I'm leaving them with their dad, but that's even more of a worry. Like, oh my gosh. Like, I have to travel back home because of an emergency and I have to leave the kids with him. How can I make this easy? And honestly, it is things like having the Aptamil Advanced Kids formula to just know that, okay, you know what? My littlest is so fussy with her food, but as long as she's getting those nutrients in, it's, for me, being millions and miles away from her, I know that it's a peace of mind. It's like, okay, he'll be fine. He can just reach over, give her the milk, and he'll be okay. And that really helps. It honestly does. It's convenience and knowing that. And it was so difficult because for not leaving them for such a long time and then having to, and like I said, even with their dad, just leaving them, it was the hardest thing.
Did you get the mom guilt? Did you feel guilty?
The whole time.
People don't really talk much about the mom guilt.
Yeah. No, the whole time.
I had to actually teach myself not to feel that guilt.
I think
I don't feel now.
Me too,
but there was a time I was miserable. Because it's like, did I give him enough time during the day? Was I on my phone all the time? And then, of course, this is a very new career. When me and my husband met, he didn't know I'm going to be a social media person who's going to be on the phone, clicking pictures, videos, or, just doing her thing on the phone. This was something very new for him. And he was like, you're wasting a lot of time on the phone. This time, you could rather give it to your son. And I was like, is he right? Am I being a bad mother by focusing on something that might someday become my career, which is not now at this point, and ignoring my son? But then I had to tell myself, this is something that I have to do for my son, for his better lifestyle, for him to see this woman who's confident, who's progressive, who's working in a field, and who's not scared of anything that comes her way.
And also doing it for you.
What about you?
Yeah, I used to travel an awful lot when I left full-time work at the end of 2018. And before that, I would travel a huge amount, particularly to the States, which from Dubai is a big old flight, right?
It's a long flight.
Yeah, so the quickest you could, even if I would only stay 1 or 2 nights, you're still out for a week once you've put the flying time in. So I think I inured myself to that guilt quite early on. You have to. The first time's
you have
hideous.
to let it go.
Obviously, absolutely hideous. But so I'm quite used to, I think, again, I have really moved on from the guilt. Take the help. Take all the help.
All the help.
We're lucky we are somewhere where we can access incredible help. And I have no qualms in saying that I do. And I really encourage people to take it, because certainly with my first, I tried not to. I tried to do everything. By the time she was 4 months old, I think I'd slept about 45 minutes.
Are you serious?
And that does not do good things for you.
No,
and I really learnt my lesson.
And like Zainab, she's a hands-on mom. And like Stephanie said, for me, it took 6 years to get help because I know it's going to cost you
it's going
an
to cost
arm
you
and a leg and a little
kidney.
bit of your kidney. Like she said. So it took me 6 years, but to a point, like I was ready to get help. I was ready to trust someone. Not everybody gets to do that. Not everybody chooses to do that.
Exactly. It's a choice.
You know,
Yeah,
it's
it is
very
a
difficult
choice.
to trust your pieces of your heart with a stranger.
Of course, of course. I mean, I know you all are talking about mum guilt, but I still haven't gone past that. I have a lot of guilt all the time. I think because I'm just always with my kids, like 24/7. And because I do everything, if I'm not there and if I have got an event to go to or I'm not there at bedtime, it plays on my mind all the time. And I am literally at that event on my phone, messaging my husband. Have they gone to sleep? Have they done this? Have they done that? Did she brush her teeth? I can't seem to shift it, you know. And only just last year, and believe it or not, I've never ever been to a gym in my life, Louise, you'll hate me. But last year I decided to, I'm going to start the gym. And that was my hour for being for me. You know, it was like, I'm going to the gym. I'm not going to think about anything else. I'm going to put on my headphones, have my favorite music playing, and I'm just going to work out. And that's it, you know? I'm just not going to, you know. But even doing that, I would come home and still be like, oh, God, maybe if I would have stayed home, maybe I could have done this, maybe I could have done that. It's really hard to let go.
If you've got that 1 hour that you can take, then really, I would just say use it wisely. It took me ages to realize I really dislike spas.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy lying there and having a massage or a facial. I'm stressed. Honestly, I'd rather be reading a book and learning something or doing something. But because we're conditioned that spas are these incredible places that you go and have self-care and da-da-da. So I would do it if a friend invited me or something. Then I just took a step back and thought, I actually don't really
relax me.
Why am I wasting time, which is one of these precious resources that we have, on something that isn't serving me? And I think, again, with events as well, I think we have to be really careful here. There's a lot of events that
there are a lot.
Too many.
Is it the best way of spending?
How do you find the
time?
balance?
I mean, I don't go to any. I'm terrible. I go to very, very few, because you know, take a step back and say, is it really going to further your career?
Is it going to benefit you in any way?
If you're going to walk away from it enriched, and maybe you've had incredible time with like-minded women, perfect, go for it. But if you're not, if you're hating every second of it, life's short. Don't waste it. I'd rather be in the gym.
I have
or
a
reading
rule.
a book.
If something disturbs my system, like if I've come from somewhere and I don't feel good, I'm going to think about it. And if I can figure out if it was a person, if it was an event, a party that I didn't like, if it was a job that I didn't enjoy doing, I will not do it again. That is my rule. Yeah. If something disturbs my inner peace or my positive energy, I won't do it. That's how I find my balance.
You should definitely know when to say no, when to say yes. Being a mom is a lot of work, so you can't definitely be everywhere. You definitely need to use your time wisely.
I think it's high time we all come together and say, you know, we just stop this perfect woman theory or this perfect balance in life. Stop pretending. There's no shame in admitting that you need some help. There's no shame in knowing that, you know, you can be at fault too. You also need support. And stop showing that everything is perfect, because the people who are watching us, like we are 4 women here, we are admitting that we would not have been able to do this without our support system.
Of course. Like so she's here. Your children are from school, right?
Yes, they're back from school. They're home with their dad. Yeah.
See?
You know?
Same
for me. So it is okay to say that, you know, we all need help and we cannot do this alone. Stop this image of perfect woman who does it all. I get this question every day. Yeah. How do you do this all? And today, even I have learned that I should actually sit down and speak like this.
Exactly.
And tell everyone, you know, it's not possible to do it all.
Sometimes actually on your story, on your Instagram story or on your TikTok, you can actually take time off with the huge followings that we all have and just try and tell people, oh my God, I had a good day. My support systems were there to take care of the kids because I had X, Y, Z. The more we talk about it, then people actually see that, oh my God, she also has help. Yeah. Why did I think she didn't have help?
Yeah.
But I think
Yeah.
I was saying, I think it's important that we just, when you do meet up with fellow mums, there's no judgment. There should be meetups where, look, it's open. We sit here, we discuss everything, the highs, the lows, the pros, the cons, the tears, the smiles, everything, no judgment. And I think that's what's really important, that letting other mums feel this is an open space. Yeah. You feel safe here. Speak, let out your emotions. Let's talk about everything. Let's vent if we need to vent, but making sure that they're comfortable. And I think that should be made known, make that normal.
And when you need to talk, it's so great to do it in person, right? Looking in each other's eyes, feeling each other's energy. I'm sure we're all in numerous school WhatsApp groups.
Oh, yes.
And it's a source of quite extreme stress that, sometimes I wake up in the morning, 80 messages.
The hundreds of messages.
All I needed to know was whether it was PE today.
Exactly.
So again, and that's again just about using our time wisely. And when we've got things to communicate, it's so valuable to do it in person and to have that energy exchange and do it meaningfully.
It's so nice that we can sit down together and admit that, we cannot do this ourselves.
It's funny.
Exactly. You always need help.
And send out this message to all the women out there also, that we are not doing this all by ourselves.
Nope.
No, and if you are, you also need help. Ask for help. There's no shame in it. And it's so nice that, for me, it's like very emotional because I started my journey with Aptamil Advanced Junior when my son was so small. He literally grew up. And now after years, we get to do this together. We get to sit together and talk about things that we've learned. Talk about things that we have struggled through, our experiences.
Exactly. And sometimes you learn new things that you didn't know. Yeah. And another mum might be like, oh, well, I do this. So you learn something new.
Okay.
So that's why we should have these meetups.
I should be a food
often.
influencer.
Oh, you should. Yeah. You should.
It's all like a mate. Yeah. The one thing.
That's the one thing.
She's just going to prepare porridge and then she's just going to
put in
a few scoops of
We should do like a cooking show.
Yes.
Today,
what else can we create?
Aptamil has brought us together, Stephanie, Zainab and Louise. And it's such a wonderful thing to talk about our motherhood journey, our struggles, our highs, our lows, talking about our kids. It's like, I know your kids. I know their characters, what they are like. So it's beautiful and it's lovely. And I hope we get to do this more and more. And now I'm going to request you all to say something that you want to say.
So from Stephanie to you out there, if you are a mom, one thing I would say is be ready to be a mom. Being a mom is a lot. It's not just taking cute pictures of your baby lying down, sleeping, posting on Instagram for likes. It's a lot. And I can't explain the lot unless you go through it. But before you actually take that step of being a mom, you have to be mentally prepared for it because it's like you said, the highs, the lows, the pros, the cons, the good parts, the sad parts. But you need to be mentally ready to be a mom. And of course, your support system has to be intact to catch you when you're on your low.
Of course, yeah. I mean, I would add to that and just say, don't be afraid to ask for help. I think a lot of women, they are afraid or they feel, if I ask for help, I'm going to be judged because I asked for help. No, there should be no judgment. Ask for help as much as, even if it's on the littlest thing.
Things.
Yeah, it could be the simplest thing that, but they may feel that the other mother will think, oh, but why doesn't she already know that? It's fine. So I think my message would be just don't be afraid. Feel open enough to talk to another fellow mum. We're all going through the same journeys. We've all had babies. We're all, 1, 2 or 3, as many as we've had. We're going through that journey and we all understand each other. So don't have that kind of, oh, she'll judge me or I can't say this. Just try and be open and say as much as you can. Yeah.
I would say in a world where you can be anything, be kind.
Yeah,
That's true.
Definitely.
So beautiful. It's something that I tell my son every day. And he's like, I am kind. I was being kind. The other person was not being kind. But, it's something that we grew up learning. And it's something that we are going to pass on to our kids.
Exactly.
So thank you so much. It
Thanks
was
for
a
having
wonderful
us.
conversation. I'm so glad we got to do this. And, we talked about the realities of motherhood.
Mm-hmm.
The realities of motherhood. Not the reality that we see on social media or movies and films.
Exactly.
But
what really happens behind
the
closed
scenes.
doors. Yeah, exactly.
To Aptamil.
To Aptamil. Today, I learned that the stage that I am at with my kids is just a phase. Of course, it does get hard because you'll be like, oh my God, when are they going to grow up? But meeting other mom influencers with much older kids, I am reassured that it's just a phase and this too shall pass, and I should just enjoy and embrace each moment with the children because they do grow up and they do grow up so fast.
I don't know that you can blame any one person for how motherhood is portrayed and whether that's unrealistic. I think all we can do as humans is to try and understand what parenthood is, motherhood, fatherhood, whateverhood, adoptionhood, and just do our best with it, really, and really understand. I think it's really important to understand that it's a journey and it's constantly evolving.